Hi, I'm Seamless, and today is Saturday, which means it's time for a new How to Synth tutorial. And today I'm going to show you how to make this sound. Which is not a super big departure, really all that deep about some stuff I've done before, but actually this is a bit of an interesting concept and at large about this particular kind of sound. And it has to do with a reason why, I don't really have a how to lead series. I actually do have some videos that are called how to lead, but there aren't very many. And the reason is that lead sound design is limited by one particular thing, is that when you play a very high note, you don't have as many harmonics to work with as you do lower frequencies. There's some cool stuff you can do with leads, and that's fine, but it's a lot more limited than it is when you do bass stuff. However, a lot of the more interesting leads that I've heard in tracks that I actually like are leads that are actually basses, but have more lead-focused elements. And in Citrus, it's actually pretty easy to just do that. And the easiest way to do that is to FM it or RM it by a bass frequency. So this began as this is all just one Citrus contained in there. But what happened was, what's the actual lead sound is this operator 1, which is being RM'd, which is just that. It's an almost square kind of distorted sine wave, but it's at lead level, right? Not that big a deal. However, I am ring modulating it by this shape, which is a little bit interesting. Actually, in this case, it's amplitude modulation because it's unipolar. So what's happening is that because this is being ring modulated at a bass level frequency, because this one being ratio 16, this one being ratio 2, which at this level is bass when I play bass notes, is that it turns itself into kind of a bass frequency sound, but with lead characteristics kind of being accentuated. It's a little bit more obvious when it gets put into filter 1 here, which is actually not filtering at all, and is in fact just being a wave shaper. And this shape is just some bonkers business I decided to do because it sounded cool. I'm also layering in a level 16, it's ratio 16 saw wave, which if you're unfamiliar with how ratios work, it's double the ratio for one extra octave and half the ratio for one less octave. So ratio 16 is 3 octaves higher, because it's 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16, 3 octaves higher. There you go. And so that's what that is. And then that's being layered in there to kind of drive home that note that I want to be in the lead. And then reverb, because reverb. So a lot of people will say things actually in 75K is another similar sound as I request videos. They say I want to make a lead bass, and the term lead is an interesting one because it doesn't necessarily always mean a higher frequency sound. What it does mean is that it's the thing that's leading the song, which could sometimes just be the bass. It could be a bass thing, a bass sound. It has no higher register sort of play or notes. It's just low notes and it's low stuff. It's just that note. That could be a lead instrument. But usually what they're talking about is a bass that has high register lead sounds in it. Or a sound like this, which is a lead instrument, and it wouldn't be played with the bass. In fact, this would be something that's high pass quite heavily to kind of fit in with stuff, but it's got bass sort of fractures in it from the ring modulation that makes it a little bit more interesting when it goes lower, which could be cool. Yeah, real kind of basic idea there. That's more or less it, really. Experiment with basses and making them leads by putting in, I guess, a lead octave against a bass octave and see what happens. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. This patch will be available to download in the description of this video, which I hope works, but if it doesn't work, this is pretty straightforward, so I'm not really worried about it. Don't forget that I have a sale on lessons. The sale ends on June 1st. If you want to look into that, go to my website and read up on the information. Or if you have any further questions, you can also just email me and we'll talk about it in person. In person email. And as usual, have a nice day.